It's time to rock and roll!
Just one other thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
My camera placement is in such a way that it looks like I'm not paying attention to you, but this
Oh,
is me
No,
looking
it's
at the
fine.
screen
Yeah.
just in case that's weird.
no,
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 no, it's totally fine. Um,
you're good.
Mike Scott from Action for Everyone, his camera's like his view of everyone is like it looks like you guys can see me on camera if you're watching this on YouTube. This will be the opening for the show. It's not talking shit, it's respect that for the great Mike Scott.
Yeah.
He's like looking upwards to the left, and his camera is facing him from the right. So it looks like he's like doing other stuff, but that's how he's like, it's how he's
Mm.
communicating. Doesn't have to think about the camera because he's involved in the conversation. One of the great podcast hosts, basically the godfather of the great Big Bad Film Festival, but we are not the Big Bad Film Festival or Action for Everyone, although go check them out. See for year four of Big Bad, everyone in Southern California and visitors. We are the Waffle Press Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Diego Crespo. With me today is my co-host, Universa.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you again uh through Zoom.
Yeah,
But
it's been a long time.
yeah, it's been a long time,
I
but
didn't
yeah,
I didn't
no,
see
it's
you 10 hours ago.
yeah, no, totally not. Totally not. But yeah, no, it's good to be back and it's good to be back talking The Running Man and Edgar Wright films and talking to our guest too. Great good friend of the show. He's been on here like 10 times already in this year alone. Yeah. But yeah,
Uh,
welcome back to the show, Jack Godwin. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm happy to be the British correspondent once
Hmm.
again. I was
Yeah.
just talking to someone the other day. I think the first podcast I went on was a Waffle Press podcast in 2015.
Wow.
Woo! Asian
That's
history.
funny.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. 10
that's
years. 10 years. We're old as fuck now.
We
right.
are old as fuck. I remember
You
the
yeah,
days we
you
would correspond through Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Oh yeah, that was the
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
You didn't have the blonde hair back then too.
No, no, no. That's just like an overnight thing. Just the stress of the world. Woke up one day, Leland Palmer style.
Oh, okay.
You know how it is.
No, no,
Right.
no, not Leland Palmer side.
Okay, well, yeah,
Yeah.
not quite Leland Palmer
Yeah.
style.
Not quite.
No, but
Not
Jack,
quite.
welcome back. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to. You just came back from a film festival.
Mm,
I want to shout out your guys, that 90s Spider-Man show, of course, but
thank you.
specifically
Mhm.
your guys, your funeral pyre for the Sonyverse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we just recorded that. Well, we didn't just record that. That was back in August, but it just came out, right?
But yeah, behind the curtain, we recorded it quite a while ago. I think we
Yeah.
recorded it at like the end of August or something, and I
Yeah.
was like dropping like, here's some recent news about Brand New Day, and then
Hmm.
I edit and put out the podcast in November, and had to record an extra bit being like, yeah, half the stuff we're talking about isn't relevant anymore. But the end of the Sonyverse is always a fun topic, especially with Gene. And yeah, so we put our Craven review on the podcast, which was a lot of fun, and then we recorded a regular episode of about Spider-Man the animated series as well
Ooh.
yesterday. So
Oh.
that will be on its way sometime between now and the end of 2026. Knowing me,
Oh no, you just gotta power through that edit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm too anal with the
Yeah.
edits. I'm
No, it's
like
okay.
way too deep
Yeah.
in removing weird sounds.
It's all good, but yeah, it's always fun to guest star on your show too. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
always fun.
to talk.
And yeah, like you said, I was at Vancouver Film Festival, Vancouver International Film Festival back in October. So a lot of the stuff I saw um, has is like out now because uh, especially when you get with these movies made through like streaming services and stuff, there was things like there was a John Candy documentary there which I
Mhm.
was sad to not see. It's called John Candy I Like Me, and then I was really sad I missed it, and then I found out it was going on Prime 1 week later after
Yeah.
its debut at the film festival, and I was like, oh yeah, we live in 2025. Uh, but yeah, no, there was some great stuff there, and some stuff that is either going to be out soon or may already be out right now, limited release stuff.
Mm.
There's Nouvelle Vague, which is the Richard Linklater movie about the creation of like Breathless, like a Godard's first film, and that's a movie for film nuts. It's like kind of like a MCU cameos, but it's like Truffaut.
Right.
So that's a lot of fun if you're into that kind of thing. But also, I saw it with my wife who wasn't familiar with French New Wave and stuff and didn't know anything about it, and she really enjoyed it too, just as it's a comedy really, but it's very like self-deprecating in a really funny way. And then I'd also recommend Deathstalker, which I don't know if you guys have heard about this,
No.
but
I
like
have.
it's a remake of like I think it's the 80s Deathstalker series, a sort of sword and sorcery type deal. Um,
Okay.
and if you're into like creature effects and that kind of thing, like there's some really cool practical monsters in this movie, and the movie itself is pretty good. It's fun. It's fun with a crowd, but like you're mostly there for the creature stuff, and there's some gnarly looking monsters in this. Um, and also I'd say like the two best of the festival for me though was No Other Choice, which the Park Chan-wook film, and yeah, anyone who's had any issues with employment will get a lot out of that movie. It's amazing. It's very funny though, but it's like speaks to like the employment landscape at the moment really well. And then there's a movie called Surat, which I don't want to say anything about Surat, but it's incredible. It's a Spanish movie set in Morocco, and it's a man and his son are looking for his missing daughter at a desert rave, and that's all you need to know because there's a lot about the movie where the surprises are you know the big part of it. But see it with a crowd if you can. I'm not sure how much of a release it's going to get,
Mm.
but it was like I haven't heard an entire crowd gasp and fall into silence like I have in that movie in quite a while. So that was really excellent, and I think people should check that out for sure.
So
Mm.
that's the one. Surat is the one that you're like,
Surat,
you
yeah,
gotta see.
yeah.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great. I'm really excited for the Park Chan-wook movie as well.
Mm.
Who's
Hmm.
tangentially related to the movie we're talking about today, the Running Man. But
Tangentially. Yeah.
yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, that sounds great. How did you get hooked up with VIF? Did you make your own excursion out there? What was the experience like making it out there, I guess?
Well, I mean, it's actually like I work with them, but like not to a degree which is unethical for me to share the stuff that
Okay.
was good there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do
Yeah.
some volunteer work for them.
Okay.
So I'm just like I'm familiar with the festival. I like what they do, um, and yeah, it's the biggest thing on this side of Canada. Um, so yeah, it's a really fun thing to go to,
Mm.
and also just like to go to film festivals. I always forget that you spend a lot of it like in queues just
Oh,
with
yes.
strangers, and then you talk to people, and then you meet some really nice people, and you get to talk about movies, and there are all kinds of people. And one person I spoke to was this woman who had been to every edition of the festival, and it's been running for like 50 years. And
Wow.
so it was kind of interesting being like someone who had been keeping up that annual journey and seeing how it had changed and stuff. And yeah, film festivals are great. Like if you ever have a chance to go um, to whatever sort of film festival you have like local to you, I think it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
yeah, it can be expensive sometimes. It's hard to manage that, but like it's really nice to be around a culture like that, you know?
Yeah. Being around like-minded people
Yeah.
that just love movies. Yeah. But yeah, try to go to a festival. That's a good sentiment because even if it's
Mm.
that festival or like been to like Sundance or like South by Southwest, they're always fun to go to. Some are expensive though. Some are
Hmm.
Yeah,
expensive.
so
Sundance is expensive as fuck.
Mm.
That one for the lodging and everything
The
too.
lodging,
Right.
it's
Mm.
like just commuting out there. Like the food out there is expensive. I mean, it's like, like a rich people town.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Right.
moving. It's moving. So
Oh
that
yeah.
makes
So,
yeah.
well, that's
It's not
another
in Park
discussion for
City
another
anymore.
time. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so very, very funny that it's like, oh, Sundance will not be in Sundance, but it's still
No,
Sundance.
it's still Sundance.
It's
Well,
like,
it's
all
named
right.
after Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
but it's just
so it's
notable that
like,
it's like, oh, okay, the movie it took.
yeah,
But that's all right. It's all right.
that's all right. But I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna put those movies on my letterbox, Jack. So thank you for the recommendations.
Oh yeah, and I've got more as well.
Oh, okay.
Those are the ones I was like, these are the ones I want to highlight. But there's some weird other ones too that I'll tell you about.
Oh,
But I
sure.
also, if people follow me on Blue Sky, what did Jack do? I have a thread where I just
Oh,
talked
okay.
about the stuff I watched as well.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
check
make
that
sure to
out.
link that too.
Awesome,
Sure.
thank you.
Yeah. You have some funny. What do we call Blue Sky posts? Just they're not tweets. You have some funny
I
They're
think there's
skies.
I think there's
skies,
skeets.
skeets,
I
some
think that's the
funny
thing.
skeets.
I think the platform bullied the CEO into calling them skeets at some point.
Sure, why not? Like,
Yeah, that's a social media platform that's like at war with the people who are moderating it right now, I think.
okay, interesting. I haven't heard of that, but I've been using it a lot more, so I need to get in on the universe of Blue Sky more.
We need to get
Mm.
skeeting.
Skeeting,
Yeah.
yeah. They just need to
Skeet
like
and
fix.
Gene.
I know, yeah. If they fix more of the features, I'll be like more addicted to it.
Hey, do
Yeah.
they have group chats yet?
Jack,
I don't think so.
no, they
Yeah.
don't.
Come
I
on,
was just
guys.
Jack
thinking
would
earlier,
know.
one thing I really wanted to do is be able to search something and then filter it by people I follow,
Uh,
uh, and things like that. There's a lot of like little features that are not there yet. Yeah.
it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we'll talk about Blue Sky another time.
another
But
time.
yeah, Jack, you're British, just like Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Oh
So
man,
you have
you're our
all the
yeah,
knowledge of
you're our British friend, you and Henry, and yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you got a lot of knowledge of the filmography of Edgar Wright naturally. So we could talk about a little bit like what are our introductions to Edgar Wright? What was your first Edgar Wright movie? We'll go around, but
Hmm.
Jack is the guest. I want to hear from you and the
Mhm.
British person on the podcast today.
What?
Yeah.
I
What's your
mean,
origins?
yeah, Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead, when that came out, that was absolutely huge. I know it was huge in the States too.
Mhm.
I believe it was like a little earlier. Maybe it was released in the UK, and there was a lot of marketing for it. And I just remember the poster everywhere was the shot of Simon Pegg on the tube with flowers like crammed in with zombies all around him, looking really bored. And that was such an evocative image to me, and I was too young to see it at the time.
Mm.
But when it came around on DVD, like you know, everyone knew about it, and I was very excited to see it. And then from then on, like I stayed on the Edgar Wright train, like I think longer than other people. In that, I think when it got to the end, when it got to the world's end,
Mhm.
is when I knew some people were like started becoming less interested. But I
Mm.
really loved that whole Cornetto trilogy. But Shaun of the Dead for me is like the holy grail. That's not just the my first Edgar Wright movie. It's not just what I think is the best Edgar Wright movie. I also think it's like probably the best comedy this century.
Mm. Okay.
So I have like nothing but praise for Shaun of the Dead. Everything else he's done, I've also like liked to varying degrees. I always think it's worth watching a great movie. But yeah, no, I mean, I've my background right now. This is Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg on the set of Spaced,
Space.
which for those who don't know, is the 1999 TV series in the heyday of like there was a point in British comedy where this Channel 4 basically invested a lot of money into sort of alternative indie comedy, like low budget stuff, and a lot of amazing talents came out of that. And Spaced is a really fun time capsule. It was very new for the time, and I think that was like I came to that a similar time as Shaun of the Dead, so that was kind of in tandem. And if you like Shaun of the Dead vibe and you or Hot Fuzz and you haven't seen Space, I would check it out. It's like 95% of it holds up.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
ask if it like I feel like it's aging more or less pretty well. You're right.
yeah, and I guess there's
Yeah,
a little bit of not everything is going to hit in the same way because it's drenched in pop culture references, and at the time that was like a lot less common,
hmm.
and now that's like just the way most things are made. A lot of comedies are. Um, but yeah, no, it's that's a great show too. But like Shaun of the Dead, yeah, that's the sort of the center from which it all exploded out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene, have you seen Spaced?
I've watched a few episodes. So like I've watched the episode that has that clip where they're talking about Star Wars that goes like viral every now and then when they're talking about like Jar Jar and everything,
Mm,
and like Simon Pegg's just like browbeating that kid. But yeah,
yeah.
I've seen a few episodes. I guess the episode that kind of was a prototype for Shaun of the Dead, right? Where he's playing like the Resident Evil S game on the PlayStation
Mm,
or something.
yeah. There's a
Uh,
lot of uh that kind of humor of just like the things that the culture that they're consuming sort of takes over the show and they go
yeah,
off into skits and things like that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like that's the thing is you've only watched a few episodes, but
Yes, I
that means you've probably watched 25% of it still because it's a it's a British comedy, so it's like there's two
two
seasons.
seasons and a Christmas special.
Yeah, and the seasons are probably like I think like 8 episodes that are like 20 minutes.
Right.
So you can get through it pretty quick. I'm
Yeah.
not sure where it's available though
It
at the
was on
moment.
it was on Netflix for a bit, but
Oh, okay.
it's probably not
Well,
on
what's
Netflix
that? What's that
anymore.
one community joke where they're like, "Oh, it's they're making like they're doing the Doctor Who riff," and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's the longest running BBC show. It's been on for 6 seasons and 15 episodes."
Yeah.
That's
Why is that, Jack? I'm sorry to ask you, but
I really don't know. I really don't know. I have no
yeah,
answer for that.
I guess it's
if I
like
could throw out
quality.
an
Yeah.
assumption, is it because like residuals are better there or something? Like maybe for
Oh,
production
yeah,
values
maybe.
and such, you
Or
know?
maybe there isn't the same kind of ruling around syndication,
Yeah.
which
Ooh.
is a big thing of like you want to get to 100 episodes in the
Yes.
US. Maybe that's
Yeah.
not
Hmm.
present, so that why shoot for that? But at the same
Right.
time, there are like some sitcoms in the UK that just ran for like a decade.
Doctor Who.
So
Hmm.
yeah, and Doctor Who is the most insane other end of that spectrum.
Yeah. 50
Yeah.
years,
Doctor
60.
Who retrospective, 10 million
Oh
hours.
boy.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, including the ones that no longer exist.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I'll
it's
track
lost
them down. We'll
media.
be the guys. You know.
Yeah. I've never gotten to Doctor Who, but
Oh, I love
you
Doctor
guys could
Who.
talk about it. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's good, but it's just like yeah,
It's
okay.
a pretty, I understand it's a daunting prospect. It's like
Yeah.
getting into comic books or something.
It's like getting
Right.
into One Piece. It's like
Get into One
every
Piece.
culture has their like long-standing franchise that's just
Right.
like
Yeah.
daunting, like you said. It's like they got One Piece in Japan. You guys got Doctor Who. What do we
Mm.
have, Gene? What the fuck?
Spider-Man. We have
I think
Batman.
it is comic books. I think
Yeah,
Jack's right.
comic
Yeah.
Yeah.
books is our main
Yeah.
export, or just
Yeah, that's
comic book
unfortunate.
characters.
Yeah. No, no, because comics they'll go on so long that they all just become bad, and even if they get good for a little bit, they're going to end that run. That's what
Mm.
people really want. They want a
Yes.
really exciting universe to end after 2 years. And
Yeah.
we're not here to talk about the new Ultimate comics. We're here to talk about Edgar Wright and the Running Man. Um, I'm not bitter. That's another conversation for another time.
Right.
Um, yeah, okay, so like the trajectory of his films, like he starts in like the kind of scrappy indie space. Shaun of the Dead's his breakout movie, Hot Fuzz. He almost does an Ant-Man movie at some point. I don't even know if
Yeah.
like most people will remember that right now.
Mm.
Like
No,
that's
probably
that we
not.
definitely remember because that was
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
first
It's
devastating thing. Like, oh, maybe this Marvel thing's not gonna work.
right.
You
It's
know?
so
Mm.
like Ant-Man, so like MCU, like in it, like Paul Rudd is Ant-Man, so like codified in the MCU. You don't think of it as an Edgar Wright
Yeah.
vehicle in any point
And
right now.
he was recently asked about it, or at
Mhm.
least a quote was circulating. I don't know if it's an old quote where he was asked about why it didn't happen, and he just said that it wasn't going to be the movie that it no longer was going to be the movie that he agreed to make, effectively. So I feel like that's a good thing that it didn't happen, but it is
Yeah.
interesting because there's a point where you think Ant-Man is a obscure enough IP at that point to be maybe a fun, perfect fit for Edgar Wright, especially at that point in his career.
Hmm.
And then when it actually comes out, the first thing I think of, like I like that movie, but I think of like the cameo with Falcon in that
Yeah.
movie. And it's like I can't imagine like having that conversation with Edgar Wright in that time. And it's like, yeah, but this guy's got to be in it. You got to spend some time at the Avengers,
Without, yeah, at
you know,
Avengers Campus.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that it's nice to think of that alternate world where we got the Edgar
Yeah.
Wright
Yeah.
Ant-Man the way he wanted to do it.
And to be
Right.
like to the credit of him who left the movie, like that's the best Ant-Man movie by like miles. I don't think there's a competition. Now, I also haven't seen the third one, but like
It's
I started
bad.
watching Ant-Man and the Wasp like a while after it came out, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I can't finish this. There's
No.
nothing here. Sorry,
No.
everyone involved who I like." And then I watched the original one, and I was like, "You know what? That's like a good movie.
It
Like it's
is.
got the
Yeah.
hang-ups, but it's like the structure and the bones are there. It's got a lot of heart.
There's a
It's
lot.
very
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's
the
pretty sincere for one of those."
that has maybe probably I gotta say, yeah, it's probably the best needle drop in the MCU with
Oh,
the
The
Cure
Cure. Yeah.
in the briefcase.
It's a very fun one.
What
Yeah.
Cure song
That
is it?
uh
Disintegrate?
I can't remember.
Disintegration?
I can't remember if that's the album. Because he says disintegrate, and that's what
Yeah.
Yeah.
sets it off.
That was
But yeah,
totally in the Edgar
that
Wright draft that carried over.
yeah. The Suns sections of that, yeah, you can see where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean between him, Joss Whedon, unfortunately, and James Gunn, like they have not too similar voices. I don't want to dilute
No.
the two
Mm.
people that still matter in that conversation. But
Yeah.
like, they have like their finger on the pulse in terms of what's popular in pop culture, what's gonna
Yes.
hit with audiences. They're very good at
Mm.
structure and character. Um, so like yeah, like that makes sense that he would be the guy to put that in the Ant-Man movie. And then
Right.
the Falcon stuff, that's like the
Adam
studio.
Adam McKay was
Adam McKay.
the
Adam
yeah, he
McKay could have done a good Ant-Man probably.
probably yeah.
I like Adam
Probably.
McKay. He
Yeah, I
should,
like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a comic book fan.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
like he's gone to like these bigger budget things. Well, moderately speaking, he's never done an Ant-Man sized movie. Still, this is Running Man's
Mm.
about as close as he gets. Um, his last movie, I think, less well received than any of his other stuff. Last Night in Soho.
Hmm.
Which I love. I really like
Oh,
Last
okay,
Night
you
in
love
Soho.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's really great. I'm not sure how Jack if you like it, but
I'm kind of lukewarm on it.
mm,
I don't feel very like passionate about it either way. I
okay.
mostly just really enjoy seeing something set in Soho,
Oh,
like
okay.
by someone who like actually
Yeah,
knows the area. So it
right.
felt like authentic in a lot of ways. It was an
Yeah.
enjoyable watch, but it's not something I'm probably going to return to.
Yeah. They yeah, it felt very authentic because when I saw you in London 2 years ago, I went to
Mm,
Soho for a little bit, but it
yeah.
seemed yeah, I was like, oh, this is like in the movie.
And
So
I
do
think
you,
that was my letterbox review is that I've also almost been hit by a taxi in Soho many times.
uh, I
Authentic.
don't
It's so authentic.
I don't know if you guys know then like the co-writer on that Christy Wilson Cairns she co-wrote 19,
Mm,
or she wrote 1917 and
Hmm.
I've been a fan of hers for a minute. She had like this really hot spec script like a decade ago called Ether, which I still want to see get made at some point. Um, and she worked with Sam Mendes on a bunch of stuff. 1917 is the only one that got greenlit. She was initially the co-writer on Taika Waititi's Star Wars, and she co-wrote
Oh,
Last Night in Soho, and I was really excited for that because I'm like I think this is going to be one of my new guys. Guys is non-binary here. Um, and then here's the thing. Well, I'm bringing her up because she also talked about like she was a bartender in Soho, and
mm,
she like knew all the locations in the areas like when she met with Edgar Wright for that movie. They did like a drink tour or something like that to kind of get the vibe, and I'm like,
sure.
fuck, that sounds so fun. Um, I'm like not a fan of the writing in that. I think it's pretty pretty tame for the first half considering the
Okay.
material, and the ending is like it kind of face plants for me. I'm like,
Mm,
you do not have a handle on what you're dealing with here.
mhm.
That being
okay.
said, he directs like the absolute living fuck out of that movie. Like he's doing some
Does.
crazy shit with the camera, the match cuts, the transition between time periods, and I'm like, look, the boy can cook. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
kind of, it's one of those ones where I'm like, no, this is like on the page, this is probably not good, but like,
sure,
man, he's having a great time, so I'm having a great time.
right, yeah,
And then I know a lot of people are mixed on Baby Driver now more than ever.
mm,
Um,
yeah,
the most I'll respect an anti-Baby Driver take. Like if you don't like it, that's fine. The late great Anthony Bourdain, who was just like fuck Baby Driver. That's hilarious. I don't know why. It
it's just
cracks
a
me up
tweet of
every time.
his.
I like that movie. I don't care.
Yeah,
That's a
I
hilarious
still
tweet.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cast is not so great.
No, most
But
Yeah.
canceled cast of all time? Question
right,
mark.
except like Lily James.
Lily James, John Hamm.
No, well,
Oh,
no, not John Hamm anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing now. If
Oh,
you could look it up after, because
okay.
Yeah.
it's pretty
That's
like,
a strange one, by the way.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very strange. It's really kind of sad too. It's like look it
Oh,
up after. I don't want to like,
okay, okay.
yeah.
Um,
But a lot was it the actress from Kong versus Godzilla,
oh, Isa
Alive?
Gonzalez.
It was a Gonzalez. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's great. But yeah, those two.
yeah, just
Um, yeah, but Baby Driver still pretty good. Still like that movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do we all have a favorite? We got some responses on the Instagram and our
Mm.
socials,
yeah.
but do we have a favorite Edgar Wright movie? Like if you just had to pick one, so we keep this
It's like,
brief.
yeah, if there's like a gun to my head, I would go with Scott Pilgrim because just love Scott Pilgrim so much, and he just directs it so well.
Yeah. I mean, I love Scott Pilgrim too. That might be number two for me, but Shaun of the Dead for me is just I mean, I think there's a debate with the rest, but Shaun of the Dead is an easy pick for me.
Okay, yeah. I think for me it's Hot Fuzz just to keep it
Mm,
different, and then number
okay.
two Scott Pilgrim. But like some days it's probably just Scott Pilgrim. Like
I the weird
Yeah.
thing is the weird thing with Hot Fuzz though, while it's not my favorite, it is the most comforting to me because like the accents in that movie are very similar to it's basically adjacent to where I grew up.
oh
Mm,
really? Oh that's
Like
nice.
I mean their town is their town's a lot nicer than mine was, but
okay.
Well, not that
it's
nice.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like the accents are very similar and the way they speak and everything, so it's like very funny to me, but also nice for me that that very niche thing is also attached to this like huge like internationally loved like action comedy. It's just very unexpected.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think Scott Pilgrim's the one we're gonna go back to the most.
Yeah.
On Instagram, Maggie Kingdom, our good friend and friend of the show, Maggie Kingdom said Scott Pilgrim, duh, as the best Edgar Wright movie. Uh, Good friend Emilio Baez said Shaun of the Dead is goated, unfortunately. I don't know why it's unfortunate. I was talking to Gene before you hopped on, Jack, and like Shaun of the Dead was kind of like the definitive Edgar Wright movie. Like there wasn't
Mhm.
other answers. So like if someone said Hot Fuzz, maybe people were like, no, it's Shaun of the Dead. I'm not speaking from experience for a couple of years there. I'm just saying it was pretty unanimously Shaun of the Dead, and boy, they let you know it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but not there's not like wrong picks for most of these, in my opinion. Chancellor Haynes, editor, friend of the show. See you next year at Big Bad. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And then yeah, that one guy from LA, correct answer is Scott Pilgrim. So like
Well, that's
now
Scott
I think it
Pilgrim.
is Scott
Scott
Pilgrim is the
Pilgrim.
pick, you know?
Yeah,
I
it's
think it
definitely
is.
yeah, definitely got like a stronger like cult following over time
Yeah.
because it didn't do particularly well
No, it did
when it on
bad.
release. Yeah, and it was and while it's again not quite being Shaun of the Dead for me, is I think it's probably the most impressively directed for
Hmm.
me. Like it's the most stylish, and he does some
Yes.
really fun, interesting. That's definitely one that's worth owning, like the Blu-ray and looking at all the special features and stuff, like how they move the sets around, that
Hmm.
kind of thing. Very good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's gonna be Scott Pilgrim. I was
Yeah.
wondering what people on Twitter said. Was it all Scott Pilgrim too?
Uh you know what? More World's End than I expected. I love the
Oh,
World's End. Out the
Oh,
gate, I
right.
was like, oh, this is a
definitely
very
underrated. I
It
yeah,
agree.
like I
Yeah.
was
is.
like you
Yeah.
could just tell right out the gate, like people were not gonna respond to it the way they did the first two. But
Hmm.
it's up there, you
It's
know.
such a emotionally mature movie too.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really
you know,
is.
and like we had just left high school like 2 years before, and so then I started thinking like, oh man, like life's gonna change like real fast. And then it didn't, but it was like, oh man, like I got like very sentimental about people in my life and stuff too. And it's like, I
Mhm.
wonder where we're gonna be in like 20 years or whatever. Look
Mhm.
at us
Yeah.
now
Right.
on the internet.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Scott Pilgrim is basically like across the board. Friend of
Hmm.
the show, Jordan Santacana, also said their choice is Hot Fuzz. Um, at Electric Heads or at Arc Intel, excuse me, tie between Hot Fuzz and Scott Pilgrim. Samosa Jones, a World's End Truther. Um, a lot of responses, so I'm not going to read through all of them, but thank you
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
yeah, a fuck ton of Scott Pilgrim. Basically, yeah, I mean that's a very special movie, and I think we all just kind of
Hmm.
recognize that the current studio system is not going to let a movie like that exist. We're not going to see one
No,
like that for a bit. Um, I don't believe we'll
unfortunately,
never see something like that again. It's gonna be a minute,
right now. Yeah.
Right
Right
now,
now,
no.
dude.
Right now, fuck
No.
no. The rest of this decade, absolutely fuck not.
No.
But yeah,
Unfortunate.
so very special movie, great movie. Is The Running Man a great movie?
Yeah. Oh, really quick before we segue into the Running Man,
Yeah.
because I wanted to know Jack's answer. Favorite cornetto flavor?
Oh, strawberry.
Okay.
Easily, easily. I mean,
Okay.
that's also, I guess, that's the Shaun of the Dead
Yeah.
flavor too. I
Yeah.
don't know
It's
if
red.
there's some
It's red.
psychological connection there, but strawberry is the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. I was just curious. I was curious. But Running Man, we'll
Uh,
go right into it. Run into
yeah.
it.
No luck catching them swans then. Yeah,
It's
Running
actually
Man.
just one swan.
It's just the one swan, actually.
Right.
God damn, I love that. I'm gonna watch it like after. You know what? I don't have time today,
Yeah.
but I'll watch
Yeah.
it after I do everything
Eventually.
else today. Yeah, Running Man. Jack, you go first. You're the guest. What are your thoughts on this? I'll let you lead us into this.
Hmm.
uh, it's nice to see a pro-union action movie.
Yeah.
I did enjoy this movie. I think it. Well, I mean, I'm trying not to make some kind of like really garbage pun, but
Hmm.
the pace was like relentless. And I just felt like it was a really enjoyable movie. But like, I think there's different ways to view it. I think as a fairly big budget action movie, I feel like it delivered some meaning to it that I wasn't necessarily expecting, and that was
Hmm.
refreshing to me. If you're expecting something that is going to be more revolutionary, I think there's a hard ceiling to that. I feel like it's pretty heavy-handed and basic in those approaches,
Hmm.
but I also think that it's such a fun, propulsive movie that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Um, at the same time, though, as an Edgar Wright movie, I do feel is like disappointing. And I would say like even when I saw the trailer, it's like I didn't immediately clock it was Edgar Wright until his name came up.
Yeah.
And I don't think it really clocks watching it. It doesn't necessarily feel like an Edgar Wright movie, even though he's definitely in a different sort of era of his career. He's definitely moving away from like the quick cuts and the comedic stylings of the Cornetto trilogy. Like he's left that behind like a while back now. But
Hmm.
this does feel different, and I kind of wish it was wackier and a little tighter. I think it maybe runs on a little too long.
Yeah.
Sorry for the pun. I didn't mean to do that. but
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it was an enjoyable experience, but it's not going to be like hitting any like top of the year lists or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, I agree with you. It felt long, which I've never like in an Edgar Wright movie, I've never felt that, right? Like the ending, I don't know, we'll get into spoilers later, but like
Mm.
when
Nah,
that
you
when
do
that
it now. Do it now. Go
okay,
for it. Yeah,
yeah, when
spoilers.
that
Spoiler warnings.
spoilers, but when they get to when the climax happens of when they're in the plane, they have he has a confrontation, Ben Richards with Josh Brolin's character, and the plane explodes, and then it cuts to the prophet, which I liked all the prophet stuff, but like that felt like, I don't know, not unearned, but I'm like, ooh, this is a lot happening right now, and it's like a lot of information. and it's like how much time is passing, and it's just like it felt
Mm.
like really long, and then it felt really rushed, and then it was like pacing wise, editing wise, I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is good. I don't think this is good.
I think it slows down a lot once there's a like a well, it felt lengthy to me, a highway sequence, which is also like the least visually interesting part of the movie.
Hmm.
Because it's pretty hard to be honest, to make that visually interesting as
Yeah,
a setting. Um, that's the point when the movie kind of slowed down, but it lost the energy it had before. So
yeah,
I think I don't know what you do with that sequence, but like there was a point in the middle where I feel like it could have maybe earned the ending a bit more.
yes,
There is a section of the movie where I think it does get into sort of a bit of a flow state and things start like working a lot better, and then it kind of
yeah,
loses that again.
yeah. No, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So that ending, from what I remember, is in the book,
Okay, it is. All right.
but he doesn't get off the plane. The plane does crash in the building, and that's like,
Mm,
and then they make a spectacle of the news reports of that and stuff like that. And it's it's darker. It's not like
Mm.
uh uh like, oh, they're gonna rise up. It's just like, oh, it's another thing that happens in this fucked up world now. You
yeah.
know
Right. So
that they even make a
the
spectacle of his death.
so the
And
ending that we got was like the 100% items good ending from a video game,
yes.
as opposed to the yeah, you just 60% you're fine. Here's the bad
Right.
ending.
Hmm.
But yeah, I suppose is that one of those things where they say it didn't test well or something?
I That's the sense I
It
got. The
felt
moment I
rethought.
saw that, I was like,
Yeah.
because I kind of heard like all the reactions and reviews from like real critics were like, I don't know what the fuck happened. I was enjoying it for the first like two acts at least. Like the more positive ones were like first two acts, into it, not great, but into it, and the ending, everyone's just like, what was that? And like him taking what's her name, hostage in the car.
Right. Daisy,
Um,
I forgot the actress. She was in the movie for Apple, right?
Yeah, yeah, she's the Coda actor.
She's in
Amelia
Coda.
Jones.
Amelia
Yeah,
Jones.
okay. Amelia Williams is her character in the story. Like when he takes her hostage, like that's a thing that happens, and like so when it works in a book, it doesn't mean it's always going to work in a movie. And to its credit, this is like very similar to the book. Like basically, a lot of the sequences are very similar. Tonally, I would argue not. Um,
Right.
but like that's what happens. Amelia's like jumps out of the plane, and he forces her out of the plane to parachute out and stuff like that. Um, but like just because it's in the book doesn't mean it's gonna work in a movie. And I think it does stop
Yeah.
the movie like dead in its tracks. Because like
Yes.
Jack, I was actually kind of taken with the pacing of it for those first two acts, and
Hmm.
I was in love with it. But I'm like, oh, this is what people are like calling like a bastardization. This is what people are like fucking living about,
Yeah.
And
No.
I'm like, still like,
It's
no, I don't think it's great. I don't even think it's very good, but I do think it's
right.
mostly entertaining.
Yes.
I think some of the problem is that like Edgar Wright can do comedy, Edgar Wright can do action, Edgar Wright can do tense thrills. Um, I even think like the unsubtlety of the political aspects of it. They're not like perfect politics or anything, but like,
Mhm.
whatever. I'm not going to this for that.
No.
Like I'm even fine with like the unsubtlety of it all. Like
Mhm.
some of the opening dialogue between Glenn Powell and Jamie Lawson as his wife is like pretty rough. Where it's like, no, this is happening because you're a good man. You're not,
Yeah.
it's like, well, fuck, dude. Like,
It's
I didn't know you still let this
heavy-handed.
happen, this sort of
Yeah.
dialogue. Um,
Heavy-handed dialogue. I
I'm
love all the
cool with
themes
all of
of it.
that.
Yeah.
It's just all that stuff is good individually and never together. So when the end
Yes.
has to bring it all together, it's just like it just can't connect the gears. It
Hmm.
feels like the movie's like it's like clicking. It's not perfect, but all the gears are kind of gliding into place, and the end is like,
It's trying to like,
and they're
I
just
I
in the
honestly
plane.
I
yeah.
honestly think that the thing that would have connected this all for me would have been it needed to be more deranged.
Mm,
Like there are certain sections with it. I do think, by the way, I do think that Glenn Powell is really good in this.
yeah.
Personally, like I think he taps into rage with like
Mhm.
he puts like his whole
He's
body into it,
he's
literally, because
he's
that
so
tower
angry.
scene. But
Yeah.
like I really like that, and there's certain sections like where he's like, grabbing the camera and holding it to his face and screaming and stuff. And I'm like, I kind of needed an escalation of that. I needed it to become more manic. And also that could have expanded in other ways. But I'm saying as this is someone who only knows this story through the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
but like, I wanted everything to be heightened. I kind of felt like there was an expectation of to me of the hunters being more visually interesting, there maybe being more of them, there being introduction of different like visual aesthetics as more of them appear rather than one group of mostly standard looking mercenaries.
Hmm.
But again, that's like something which may be very accurate to the book,
Right.
which also, how popular is the book? Because I don't know. Is it a beloved book? Because it was written under a pseudonym, wasn't it?
This
Right.
one, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know because I didn't realize a lot of people loved The Long Walk either.
Hmm.
Very
Some
funny that The
people.
Long Walk comes out before The Running Man this year.
Yeah,
And
there's
I loved The Long Walk.
yeah, me too.
I think that's a much stronger film.
Yeah.
That'll be on my best of the year list probably.
Yeah.
But
I haven't
yeah,
seen that yet, but I did see The Monkey, which is a Stephen King short story, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
A lot
also
of
this year, I think.
a lot of Stephen
yeah,
King's this year.
yeah. And
Well,
The Life of
yeah.
Chuck
Life of Chuck,
also.
Welcome to
Yeah, Stephen King's
Gary.
having a banner year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, I would say
I
two out of
don't
four ain't bad.
yeah, I don't think The Running Man is like of all the King books, I don't think it's like
I
it level
think
popularity.
yeah, I
I
think
think
it's
it's
very respected though,
yeah.
because he did kind of between this and the Long Walk. The Long Walk is the more like somber version of it. The
Mhm.
Running Man is very angry.
Yes.
The Long Walk is very sad. And The Long Walk I think is a stronger book overall. But again, I need to like reread The Running Man to get a full grasp on it. Maybe I'll like it more this time.
Yeah.
Um, but I get why people are like, oh, they shouldn't be like a big action movie thing. But I also think like it's a sort of narrative that lends itself to that.
Hmm.
And I think like in a perfect world, Tony Scott does this movie because he can do
Yeah.
angry and crowd pleasing. R.I.P.
Yeah.
King. He could have done all that and still been very political about it.
Hmm.
Like he did Crimson Tide, and that's
Hmm.
such a engaging movie to watch, but it's also very political, even when it's not talking about politics and a nuclear
Hmm.
submarine. Like the movie itself, the narrative carries the politics, and then the dynamic between the two leads, Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. And this movie, it has those elements there. I really like Glen Powell too. I
Hmm.
think he's good in the movie. I think this needed more of a David Harbour approach. I like a guy
Oh,
who
right,
you
yeah.
like a guy who's not chiseled to
Mm.
perfection, and that's nothing against Glenn Powell. This is nothing against his talents whatsoever. It's just like he's got the look of I think my boy Mark Kermode compared it to like a Bruce Willis type thing. He can do like the smirk, but he can get angry, he can get vicious.
Mm.
But he's a little too pretty now. He's a
Yeah.
little
It
Especially
did
too
in
especially
a
for
movie
that character too.
it it did remind me a little of oh oh the name's escaping me. The Celine song uh romantic
Materialist.
materialist.
Oh,
Yes.
Chris
Chris
Evans.
Evans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like I
Chris
was just
Evans.
like, I'm sorry, Chris Evans, but like you can't convince me that you wait tables anymore.
Yeah.
They
Like
really
I
tried.
just
They give him like a goatee or
and
like
I yeah,
yeah,
like
they really tried though.
I like Evans. I want to see him in more of those roles in a way, but I was like, it just doesn't quite work for me anymore.
Yes.
And I think yeah, it is kind of there is that, but I suppose it is also reflective of a lot of those Arnie movies too, where he
Oh
comes in,
yeah.
he's like, "Hello, I'm a normal, regular American,"
American.
and it's like, okay, I don't believe this
Yeah.
for like a lot of
Jingle all,
reasons.
jingle all the way. He's an American dad.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, just a regular
Running Man.
schlub.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
But I mean, even Total Recall, even if it's the
yeah.
joke of that movie.
yeah,
Only one movie and it's in a deleted scene they ever acknowledge Arnold's accent. if I could tangent to that. Do you know what it is?
No.
No,
It's a deleted scene from Terminator 3 where they
oh,
have
I remember this
yeah,
now.
they
Yeah.
have
In the treadmill.
yeah, no, it's the guy who so they have the prototype of the T-1000 or Skynet. The Terminator has a prototype, and like it's like a machine and it talks. It has Arnold, so it's the guy who's like inspires the T-1000, or he's the T-800, the T-800. And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna base this robot on this guy, so it looks like Arnold, and he's like training. It's like the perfect soldier, and then he talks, and someone dubs over Arnold's voice, and it's like this like really like the corniest like weirdest like southern voice, and it's not Arnold, someone else does it. And then they're like, oh, is there anything we could do about the voice? And then Arnold dubs over this general, he's like, yes, I think we can. So it's like they use that general's voice as that, and it's like the only movie that's ever acknowledged he has like an accent.
Strange
Great
film.
It is strange, but yeah.
Well, and speaking of like going with the Arnie thing, what do you guys think of the original like Running Man movie? Because
Oh.
for me,
Mhm.
like forgetting the book, I did have a thought of like, is there anyone that's going to be upset about like the legacy of that movie being tarnished? Because
Of
like
course there is.
Sure.
because
Of
I'm
course
like
there
because for me, I like that movie a lot, but I
I
like
did.
that because it's a fun kind of trashy movie to throw on and get like a 90-minute
Yeah.
movie
He
with
used
where he can kill someone and say like call them a Christmas tree while he does it.
yeah.
Like it's a very like outrageous movie, and I could feel while I was watching that, I was like, I don't know what the book is like, but I'm sure it isn't this.
No.
No.
It's very much of its time. I kind of like that movie a lot actually, the 80s Running Man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't love it, but it is entertaining.
Yes,
I
it is.
I think it has different problems than this movie did,
Sure.
you know. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It was nice to see him cameo, the $100 bill.
Yeah, very
Arnold
funny.
has the little
Oh yeah.
cameo. That was funny. That's cute.
There's a photo of them. They presented that to Arnie
Oh,
after showing him a cut of the movie,
yeah. He
Uh,
keeps it with
like
his
a giant version, like it was like he'd won the lottery or something.
yeah,
oh,
he keeps it in
beautiful.
his mansion with his horses and donkeys. Yeah, weird guy. But
Um, all right, let's see. So it felt much more like a studio film than an Edgar Wright movie. I want to hear
it
you guys'
did.
thoughts on this. We got to start wrapping up because I know Gene's gonna head out. But yeah, allegedly there was not that much time in pre and post production for this movie,
Mm,
and he finished it like I was listening to an interview with him, with Edgar Wright, and he said in that interview like he only finished it like a week ago, and that was probably like 3 weeks ago.
wow.
You know, it's like I unfortunately had myself on mute when I said like Jack, you're talking about like the other hunters. I was like, oh, you didn't like the Knights of Ren too? Um, and I guess like
Similar.
it makes sense. This sort of had like a Rise of Skywalker like timeline. Better movie
Yeah.
than Rise of Skywalker. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
but like yeah, it sounds like he didn't get to do everything he wanted, you know. Not that
Yeah.
he made every perfect choice already, but you know that's not going to happen when you have like a constricted timeline.
I think
Um,
that makes sense to me in a way, just because when I listened to a few interviews with him too, and I think he read this book when he was 12, and someone asked him on Twitter if he had to remake an IP back in 2017, what he would pick, and he said The Running Man. Like this isn't like a uh, one for you, one for them situation. This isn't like something like forced upon him. This is something that he has wanted to do and he sought out, and he has a genuine love of the material. And I wouldn't say that that would be totally evident watching the movie. And maybe, yeah, there's some edges that were sanded off that were, you know, more of his personal connection to it.
Right.
So I could understand that this feels like there is something a little bit missing from the movie, even though it does drag in certain sections as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it kind of it just drags, and some of it's just not like it starts like seeing Michael Cera, that whole sequence is fun, but like
Hmm.
when he's just kind of like on the run and like, like having these RoboCop flashbacks of his family in a like house. I'm like, what is, it's like it's not fun anymore,
Mhm.
But I thought like it should be more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it makes sense that they've been in the previews, they've been highlighting the scene where he's in the motel and
Yeah.
he's got the towel on and they're raiding the building.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like
A good
a
sequence.
peak and that was the energy I wish it had maintained for
The whole movie.
the whole movie, yeah.
Because certain
Yeah.
sequences in a bottle are really fun, but
I
it's in
could
a
totally.
bottle.
I actually think I'm going to end up rewatching this in the way that I haven't with like Baby Driver or Last Night in Soho, just because I feel like this would be a great movie to have on at home, and then like I'm gonna go make a cup of tea while this sequence is happening, and
It's
I'm
in the
less
background.
interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Fair enough.
dynamics of like his action staging and stuff like that, especially that motel one where it's like, okay, he's got to go up here, so they go there. Okay, then he's got to go back, and then they got to go here. And it's like it's just constantly this revolving door of problems and solutions. And it's like, yeah, that's what's like that's a good action scene. It's like, oh, this happens and that's good. No, that's bad because it's like this classic like escalation stuff going on there that none of the other stuff does. Or like it's in the trailer, but the bit with the grenade, that's like really fun. It's like I got a
That's cool.
grenade, boom, it's like back at you, boom. Okay, there you go. It's efficient, it's funny, it's got a punchline, it's got a payoff, and it keeps the scene going. And
Yeah.
it could have used more of that. I mean, that's why the ending it sucks. The ending sucks. Like as soon as they get in the car to get the privileged lady hostage,
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. You have to explore the dynamics of this society, right?
Mhm.
They all have to
Hmm.
be shown the truth of the world around them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that verve. It doesn't have that escalation. It's just like they're going to talk at each other in the car. Now they're going to
Yeah.
talk at each other in the plane. And
Mhm.
again, works for a book. It's
Yeah.
not
Can't
very interesting
can't
to
just
watch.
have your characters say how they feel.
Yeah, and like we were
That
talking,
makes me angry.
That makes me angry.
Works in the opening because you're gonna get past it. At least it worked for me, where I was like, all right, I
Yeah.
can just put this aside, and we're just gonna get to this good shit. And we did, and then we also didn't, and then we stopped getting to
Yeah.
it, and then it ends, and then he shoots Josh Brolin, and then it's like immediate cut to credits, and I was like, whoa, what, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
It's a lot.
oh shit.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
just
Mhm. Oh.
because I don't want
Sorry.
to, I don't
Oh.
want to let it go.
Mhm.
Coleman Domingo, I feel like.
He's
I,
good.
I almost like I feel like he's worth bringing up, but also there's not a whole lot to say. He's great.
Yeah.
yeah, he's great.
He
Yeah.
understood the assignment.
Yeah.
He brings
He's
it, but he's in it's a very small role. But
Yeah.
I thought he was
But
great.
yeah, I would get wrapped up in like the fascistic propaganda if they had Coleman Domingo. Like that's a dangerous
Yeah.
dude
It's
to lead something. You're
so
gonna buy into it real
charismatic.
fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to highlight? Anything we would like to see Edgar Wright try to do in the future? I mean, I think we're the sane ones in that we're not like angry about not loving this
Yeah.
movie. People
Mm.
Such
between Edgar
vitriol.
Wright and Guillermo del Toro, like I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people. They seem very angry that they're they have different aspirations now than they did before.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like and that they just can't
Yeah.
live with that or something.
These
I don't know.
and like by these people we mean like hyper online people, but
Hyper online people
Yeah.
who like don't seem to like anything. So
right.
I think I
Yeah, I
recently
think
shit talked someone and I shouldn't have, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, I
Too
don't.
good.
It's hard to manage because I know I have a lot of goodwill for Edgar Wright in that I'm gonna keep seeing his movies. Like some, for instance, like the trailer for Running Man. Everything I saw about Running Man beforehand, I wasn't. If it wasn't Edgar Wright, I wouldn't have been nearly as interested. Um, so I do feel like I have a bias, in a way, to like maybe be softer on him, but at the same time, I am a little confused at like having anger at this movie for not potentially pulling off what it's trying to do. I appreciate when it doesn't work, I appreciate that there's an attempt there. I also think like as much as like the messaging is really like simplified and maybe
Hmm.
doesn't quite fit with the ending,
Yes.
there's it does tap into it like a very legitimate anger that is very present. And obviously there's connections with like that anyone can draw with the US, but like there's a lot of stuff in here that's like relevant to like British society at the moment too. And I don't know, I feel like it is that kind of taps into the catharsis of the movie a little bit. It's like it does kind of the heavy-handed stuff can kind of work in his favor sometimes, but like it's definitely not it falls short of expectations, but I don't want to bury it over that, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
That is pretty
Gene.
fair. Yeah, any final thoughts on it? It's I just feel that it I wish he maybe had more time. I wish he got
Hmm.
the time to do more of this like flourish in his stylized little like whip pans and stuff. Like it was cool to see a studio version, more or less like a blockbuster version of an Edgar Wright film, but like you lost so much of the personality. Not to say that it's not there, but like, yeah, I just wish it was, maybe they gave him just a little bit more time or it was more conditional because I feel a majority of people that are seeing this movie, I don't know if they would have seen it just based on the IP of like The Running Man. I read the Stephen King book. I felt it was more like, oh, I love Edgar. I love, the Cornetto trilogy, Scott Pilgrim. So yeah, if it got to be more of that, I think it would have been more interesting.
Well, to
Yeah,
speak of the IP itself, like when this film first came out, my wife, who's very deep into watching Asian dramas,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and a lot of South Korean stuff, was like, "What is the Korean reality TV show? They're like making a movie. What is this?" And I was like, "Oh no, yeah, I don't think it has the pool as a name anymore."
yeah. Um, Between the name and really just former Edgar Wright fans going to see this, I think that's why, like,
Mm,
one, I'd heard Paramount didn't really know how to sell this movie, and I think the tonal
Sure.
inconsistency is probably attributed to that. But then it's like such a dark narrative, but it's also like got to be a fun blockbuster. It's like they're like marketing's all fake anyways, but like
Sure.
it's gotten worse, and they definitely
I
didn't know how to sell this shit. And it's not like an abnormal movie. It's just yeah, weird. And I wanted to shout out the cinematographer Chung Hoon Chung, who also shot Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright wants to keep working with him, and I
mm,
hope they keep working together because they're very good fits for each other. Chung Hoon Chung was a Park Chan-wook's former like go-to cinematographer. He shot like Old Boy. I think he shot The Handmaiden as well, which is my
wow.
favorite Park Chan-wook movie. Um, so yeah, definitely like want to see their collaborations continue to flourish. I definitely want to see them do some crazier shit. I wanted this movie to be crazier and even angrier, frankly. Which is why maybe they should have kept the book ending. It would have helped land that plane. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'm so actually surprised it's not doing very well. I think like general audiences would like this movie. I bet it's
Mm,
gonna hit Netflix and people are gonna be like,
yeah.
"Whoa, underrated." It'll do like fucking Extraction numbers on Netflix, you know?
Yeah.
And then everyone
Sure.
will be like, "Why didn't anyone tell me about this?"
Mm.
And then we'll start a revolution here. And check out
Yeah.
that Vince Staples clip, and everyone. I won't say any more. But
Yeah.
Jack, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on, talk to you, man. Where can the people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on What Did Jack Do on Blue Sky and Nat 90s Spider-Man Show is my podcast where we talk about Spider-Man the animated series and comic books and all kinds of stuff. Recently, the Craven the Hunter, the movie,
Year of
the
Craven ended
debacle.
on your show. The
Yes, it
Year of
did
Craven.
finally.
The year of Craven lasted 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
um but yeah, we talk about comic books and stuff there. We did a recent episode where I was explaining to my co-host the Human Fly and Stegron the Dinosaur Man, just like going like like stirring up the dregs of 70s comics where everyone is on drugs. Um, and on top of that, I've also started streaming on Twitch.
Mm.
Um, Currently under the username Jack Tries to Game with that's the number two. And I would like to change that, but that's the way you can find me right now.
Yeah.
And I'm actually currently streaming Deadly Premonition, which if anyone's heard of that, it's a Japanese, effectively like a rip-off of Twin Peaks.
Mm.
But it's the closest you're going to get to a Twin Peaks game, and it is falling apart. But you get to see me rage at that game as it
I've seen
frequently crashes on me.
I've seen it.
but it's a very funny game too. So yeah, that's where you can find me at the moment.
Okay.
All right, Gene, plugs. What do you got going on?
Yeah, just find me on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky Gene9892. Follow me there.
Yeah, get skeeted. All right.
Skeeted.
Links down to everything else below. Like and subscribe. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We have been professionally unprofessional.